So, how many monks do you think we're going to have on both teams?
Yeah,
15?
exactly. Do you expect 15 or 30? We'll find out in a bit, because here we go. It is NoBeaches
I
on the
think we
attack,
will
Odin's Legion
see
on defense.
at least 12 monks per team.
Alright, we're counting. So Falconetti, Gunner, Shenji, Sifanario, and Zekalin, so all exotics are out. We'll see if we find more longbows, but
Does mean we'll see longbows, maybe a few Namkins will sneak in.
yeah, exactly. We even saw Rattan Vipers,
Shields.
interestingly enough, in the first game. We'll see.
Well, that's the thing. The Rattan Vipers have a debuff.
Yep.
That's why some teams play them.
Exactly. Also, the incendiary archers, I know some people think the flame can be really, really good, but we'll see. Dan, of course.
They're really good
Star
into
player.
camels.
Yep.
So that's where they're strong there.
Right now, Dan actually sitting on incendiary archers and also on chevaliers. A lot of cav from Odin's.
Yeah, a lot of cav from
Yep.
Odin's. And not a massive amount of anti-cav from NoBeaches
Yeah, exactly.
here.
It's quite heavy on the monks. Counting, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 8 on NoBeaches.
A lot of shield maidens for NoBeaches, actually.
Yeah, only 7 monks on Odin. So you lost the first bet already.
I think I called it wrong.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, quite a lot of shield maidens for the attackers here, which is surprising, because not the best map for it, 'cause it's quite open on the base point. So, if you don't get good use of those shield maidens before that, it can be very risky. But a lot of cav for defenders tells me they're going to be doing an aggressive defense,
Yeah.
which I like.
And
Yeah,
we're
not
seeing
much
a lot
anti-cav.
of Dagger Lances on NoBeaches as well. So
Yeah, not much anti-cav from Odin's either, to be honest with you. So, if they do an aggressive hold inside A and B and just have a couple of anti-cav on the gate, they could do quite well. If they do an Argonaut sort of style, or if they do similar to Buddy, where they hold A and B, I think they can do a lot of work here.
Absolutely. So another thing I'm wondering now, we heard it from Warfarfu in the podcast, is that the hero class, especially with the Maul being there, is just getting more priority because you're able to stop units, and also Cav, of course. So do you believe that would be a valid strategy to say, alright, we need a bit less anti-Cav just because we can just maul it down this time?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the cav, right? Because I was saying earlier, so dagger axes, you can stun them once with them all jumping off, but then they will recharge after that. So you need to be able to jump in multiple times. Same with cataphracts as well. They'll recharge again afterwards if they're in their 2 ability. So maul can be useful for stopping cav, but it depends on the type of cav it is. But I think teams will still play a lot anyway, because 40's got buffed, they're a lot stronger now. Camels are still very strong into anti-cav and also just into the melee brawl in general. So there's a lot of good anti-cav that's not only anti-cav, if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. Right, Amya almost getting himself killed there at the start of the game. We saw him die twice last week, so I hope he's out for revenge this game. Would be really cool to see.
Hydra getting a good pick off there, though, that he's got that Scorpio on the right hand side, and he got a few camel picks on the gates. He's already killed 3 or 4 camels there. That's the one thing the defenders need to do on this map. If they're going to do any kind of hold at the front, they have to kill both those Scorpios at the start, and they haven't killed either one of them. So the attackers do have an advantage there, because if they do try and do an A and B hold, which it doesn't look like they will now, because they're sending all the units back to B, those Scorpios can shoot onto the point. Especially that one from B side can shoot all the way onto the middle of A.
Yep.
It looks like they're sending all the units back, so maybe they're going to do a B hold and drop A, but we'll see. Maybe just climbing up heroes. What I would love to see here is them punishing these heroes, not giving them point for free, but it is risky. And they're going to lose a hero here as well, but looks of this.
There you go, Jubai picking up the first kill there.
And they are now trying to snowball through and catch them again, but yeah, it looks like a bit of a B defense going on here.
And also we can see no-name Onyx and Ups really pushing aggressively, but maybe trying to find some units there.
There are some free shield mains here though. I'd like to see
and also free
Odin's
for the watch show.
punishing
Yeah, this is just hero play from NoBeaches right now, and Odins need to be grouped together quickly if we want to protect this. Are they going to fight over supply? I feel like this might be a bit baited from NoBeaches if Odin's fight here on the supply.
If Odin's can pick these shield mains though, it's a good pick for them. But they need to not get too greedy and get too caught up with this. It looks like they are going to try and do a B defense, but it's whether they overcommit to it and then NoBeaches pull off something similar to Argonauts and they push you to base point, try to get control of that. Yeah, very aggressive play by NoBeaches there, and I feel like Odin's didn't properly punish it. They could have killed a couple of free units of shield mains there and they just didn't punish it.
And also look at the point, NoBeaches is still capping A, so Odin's definitely had a chance to fight with more people there. Javelin's out from NoBeaches right now, so they're gonna get a couple of kills here.
The mistake they've made now, though, is they got baited into swapping to their cav. So now NoBeaches will see that they've got the cav and they're like, crap, they're going to be doing a lot of cav plays now. We have to be careful here.
So Ghost Axe on the Javelin Sergeants. We also got Zenga on the Javelin Sergeants. So 2 out right now. So interesting pick here, I think. Quite effective against Fortebraccio and the Help Sergeants, of course. And then Crescent Monks, if you can hit them, maybe. But they won't die from it instantly.
It's going to be. This is all going to come down to how well Odins can use their cav, because they've swapped to a lot of it now. They've got 6 or 7 cav out right now. How well can they utilize this cav?
Yep. And again, Vasectomy is going to the back. He's always looking out for those plays.
And they have to be utilizing these resupplies properly. So they need like either one of the Chevs or a shield main that can sit on the resupply to keep it clean of heroes. And as soon as NoBeaches start pushing down, they charge their cav through, they charge their units in that they can charge, and they go and swap and grab another one. Because that's a lot of the time how you'll win these fights as defender, because you have that supply advantage. You may end up losing the first trade, but you come back with units faster, you wipe up, you clean up, and you end up out trading because of that. So it's going to depend on how well they can use this resupply. But maybe NoBeaches just say screw it and they go across and try and base point, with the Treb advantage. So
yeah, absolutely.
Either way, the attackers do have the Treb advantage.
Yeah, Vasectomy getting killed though.
I don't know where he died there. I didn't see that.
He died at the supply point. He was killed by the Kev after being chased, and he also lost his shield main unit. So that's a loss for him.
Not ideal from him. And that's sometimes where those risky aggressive plays do not pay off. You get caught out and not do anything. And especially here, it's not really needed. They don't have any specialist units. Maybe you could argue that the Chev crossbows are a good target to go for, but it's just risky. Why do you need to do that? If he'd waited, an extra minute before doing it, maybe. But right, NoBeaches. They're rushing base now. Are they going to catch Odin's off guard by doing this? Because there's a lot of Odin's cav trying to flank, but there's just nothing really here for them to flank into at the moment.
Yeah, Cursed Fight. Ooh, nice
again,
pick up there. 3 kills
there.
Ghost actually also picking up another kill on the wall there.
He's getting a snipe with his jabs, I think. It looks like they're going to try and rush base point here. They could catch them out of position.
Yep. Definitely fighting ahead right now. And the Javelin Sergeant really doing work for NoBeaches, because they've also been able to get the camels down to only 4, if not even less. Yes, 4 camels only.
But can they push down with the amount of cav that Odins have? They're going to have to be really clean with these. They've got 2 40s in them down. They've got to be really clean with these to get them in a decent position to not get wiped by cav.
Yep. There's also...
And they don't need to rush because they've got plenty of time. Exactly. So how well can Odins pull this off now? Bear in mind, Odins have to be careful of the enemy cav coming in at the front as well. They've got 2 dagger axes trying to flank, who can now come through and cap B from behind. Yeah, they're going to rotate back to B here, it looks like.
Yeah, NoBeaches is also getting their dagger lances out, so they're trying to reclaim the city.
Yeah.
The inside there.
3 dagger axes inside.
Yeah, and they're getting the supply points now as well. Yeah. Alright, so NoBeaches is going down, but this time Odin's looking to contest them, I think. Really quick rotation there. Yep, we're engaging. There we go.
The defenders have 0 anti-cav right now, so these cav from NoBeaches could do a lot of work here. They've got to be paying attention to this.
Yep. I'm just losing his Crescent Monks though, so he's out of units. Ghost Axe coming in with the Daggers Lance big time, and ooh, big charge from Hussars here, but I think most units are still standing on the stairs there.
They need to not get hit by this Treb now, though. This could be huge. They've got a good wipe there, because this is the thing, the 40s can't brace very well at the bottom of the stairs. They have to push all the way down to be able to brace. I feel they're going to lose a lot of units to this Treb, though. And they don't have supply, because NoBeaches capped that, so...
Yeah, and NoBeaches also bracing the camels there, so it's not going to be easy to get that one back.
I feel like they've lost this supply now. They need to fall back and try and just out-trade on base point. There's a lot of free units at the bottom of the stairs, but I feel like they can't commit to this. They're just going to lose heroes, because they don't have supply. If they'd had supply still, they could have maybe done something. But losing that supply was a huge disadvantage. And now they're just losing loads of units that are just inting in now. They just lost like another 100 units there. Still getting a few picks, which is nice, but they just lost so many units after that fight was already over. And mainly down to the cav, they had 0 anti-cav for the defenders there. And they charged in a little bit too early. If they'd let NoBeaches push down a little bit more, they could have maybe wiped more. But yeah, still fairly even, so they can still definitely do something.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, still 200 against 200 of the T5, and then T4 definitely in favor of NoBeaches right now. But it's not by a big margin. So if Odin's managed to win this next fight, then they're really close once again.
Yeah, definitely. The next fight's definitely going to decide this.
Alright, Dan was sitting on the incendiary archers. He's still got all of them. I'm not sure if they made a big difference in that fight for him, but
Inting a few dagger axes on point there. Not sure what that was about.
Interesting pick there. Yep.
They only had, I think they only had 4 left, so I guess they couldn't change the units. They thought they would try and get a few kills with it, but...
Yeah, probably. Let's see. So Pintero, I'm not sure if he did all of that with his Javelin Sergeants, but he's on 94 unit kills for Odin's. He's got the Javelin Sergeants out right now. Another unit that's really good at getting yourself back into the game. Yeah, nice trap.
Ooh. Like you, especially on this map, it's so far away. You have to have someone looking at the traps because it's so easy to dodge that. And they just lost a good like 5-10 shield maidens for that.
Absolutely. Alright, so small retreat from Odin's, but again the Mauls looking to
they're going to catch these shields
them out. Yep. Alright, so there goes the incendiary archers.
And this is a mistake a lot of the sort of less experienced teams make. When you're retreating from a point, everyone just runs at the same time and runs away, and they don't think about the slow units coming at the back that then get caught out because of it.
Yep, here goes the trap though. Will they see this one coming? Ooh, Jeff Sergeants will be walking right into it. Not too bad.
I feel like they're just giving too much control of point here though. They've still got a decent amount there, and I guess they're going to try and flank at the same time, so they're going to try and pull off something like Pongard did.
Yep.
But they're just giving so much control away on the point. Yeah. Those camels can get hit by that treb, so that's going to be a good treb there. 1 or 2 shots should hit that.
We see the Fortebraccio coming in as well, so the heavy cav that we saw from Odin's, 3 Fortebraccio out right now, so that might be enough to catch all of that one.
You can see Vasectomy and Ami are trying to mess around on the back wall again.
Vasectomy switching to the Swords Fort this time.
Yeah. Like NoBeaches are wasting a bit of time here, but they have the time to play with, you know. So they're just getting a feel around, trying to get a few more picks. They still got the jabs farming a few units. They're starting to push down a little bit now. Let's see how Odin's react to this. Because NoBeaches could just full turn around now and collapse on these guys in the back when they push in. But it looks like they are going to commit to this.
Again, giving a lot of room here. It's only 3-4 units sitting on the point right now. They need to walk in a trap.
Yeah. They did get a pick on Ghost X, which is nice. And this flank from behind could be huge here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They need to start going in soon though. The front just needs to hold. The front doesn't need to push here. They just need to hold while the back comes in.
Here comes Dagger's Langs. Oh, NoBeaches full turning though. That's gonna be good. Yep.
This is a decent trade here. This flank up top is wasting too much time though. Like there's 3 of them fighting 2 heroes. Like they need to just push down and start helping this front fight. Because I think the front's going to start losing now.
Yeah, the front is definitely lost. They're also interrupting the supply right now. So 2 heroes
2 monks
from
and a
Odin
in now.
Units. Yep.
So how well can these units fight on the stairs here? Meanwhile, you've got a longsword delaying points. It's not that bad, but again, they can't get any units out. You said.
Exactly. And NoBeaches got their
these flanking units are doing quite a lot of damage here, though.
Yeah, NoBeaches got their Fortebraccio braced right there, so they're picking up these constantly moments. Hussars coming in as well. Not going to do much. So owners need to remove those Ioku's, Din's, Fortebraccios ASAP because the cav.
Yeah, they've got shield mains coming, which should be able to clear these 40s. If they brute force this now, they should be able to clear this with these shield mains. The cav needs to come through as well, though. The cav's waiting on that back resupply, trying to kill this hero. Like, this cav just needs to come point and clear.
Here comes the cav from NoBeaches, like 3-4.
0 anti-cav here for the defenders. But actually, they've got half a camel there, I think.
This might be
which is running away.
There.
Yeah, those camels kind of trolling there, running away.
Yeah. Then quickly escaping up to this.
They were retreating, so they couldn't do anything about that. But yeah, a lot of cav for attackers coming in now, and defenders don't really have anything on point. They do have some monastics at the back, which can still clear, but they need to start getting back into point. They've got some camels coming in from base now, but how big is this treb going to be? You know, unit-wise, we're still pretty even at the moment.
And it's just resolved to chaos right now. It just whoever can get on the point quickest and regains the tempo. It's kind of
it's going to come down to the hero because there's both 10 heroes. Both the teams like it's going to depend on who can pick these heroes off. And I feel like defenders having a massive advantage here on the base point right now. They need to focus down these heroes and punish them because they've got the unit advantage. They've got the hero number advantage on point. Attackers are still spawning miles away.
Exactly.
But again, you've still got 2 heroes blocking the resupply, so they need to stop going there and just fight on that point and die. One guy just to delay it, maybe, but...
And the attackers slowly starting to gain the upper hand, I think, also on the supply, but also on the point right now.
There's just no anti-cav on point. I think they had 2 camel units there, or 1 camel unit, and that was it. So
and there is a unit of Modal right now sitting on the point, and also unit of Fortebraccio from NoBeaches. There goes the last unit from NoBeaches, from Odin's.
Too many Odins were wasting too much time on that resupply.
It's only 7 alive right now, they have to resupply, but it's full blocked right now in the alley here.
Yeah, they might be able to clear a little bit, but they're not going to be able to get back to this point to contest it.
It's going down to the wire though. but doesn't look like they will be able to get through this one.
They're not going to push back
Yep.
into that choke.
15
Much
seconds
control there.
left.
Yeah, I still feel like they could have defended that, but they just took too long to kill those heroes on base point. Like, they had the unit and the hero advantage, took too long, and then the cav from the attackers came back in and wiped them.
Yep.
So really good attack there from NoBeaches, a lot of good control on that base point.
Yep, absolutely.
And again, when they first pushed down Odin's flank, really good flank, but took way too long trying to farm the units. Once the heroes are dead, they should have just gone fuck it and pushed down.
Exactly. And NoBeaches
Spent a lot of time there trying to farm the units up on top.
Yeah, I know NoBeaches taking the win here. No mercy pawns, getting the 7 hero kills. Amia again not getting his hero kills that he maybe wanted. But still, Zenga getting the MVP 90. No one from NoBeaches above the 100 unit kills. Compared to Pintro and Gladsheim on the other side. Gladsheim once again MVP performance there. I think also Dan always doing really well. Still is with 5 hero kills there. So interesting stats here.
Yeah, fairly balanced across the board, but again, it's just the hero kills in general, just weaker. And again, that's what it comes down to a lot of the time. Like, it's 41 hero kills to 25, you know.
Exactly.
And that just shows on those last fights, because they were doing okay on those last fights, you know. They traded decently, but they just couldn't kill those heroes on that last push.
Exactly. Even if you look at the first fight, like, it was actually quite close. Maybe not the quality of units, but the amount of units killed was really close, and then NoBeaches got away with it a little bit, and then just really close in the end. The units were close, the hero kills not.
I feel like if they hadn't gone in with the second wave, because at that point NoBeaches had the supply, right? So they had that supply. Odin's, there was no way they could get it back because they had camels there, and Odin still went in with more units and dying there. If they just pulled back, reset on the base point, they would have more units than defend. I'm not a massive fan of how they defended. You know, they only had 4 or 5 guys on the point, and the rest are out the back. So NoBeaches could just keep trapping in that choke and just forcing them to push into it. You know, which really caught them off guard. They lost quite a few units there.
Yeah.
They were just a bit too slow to react. Like I said, that flank from behind was a good flank, but they didn't seem to know what they were supposed to be doing. They killed the heroes and then just stood there trying to kill the units for an extra 30 seconds. If they instantly pushed down those stairs and helped the fight at the bottom, could they have wiped that clean enough to then reset to be able to hold the point? You know, there's a lot of ifs and buts there, but it just felt a little bit messy from Odin's, a bit less organized.
Exactly right. Alright, so we're getting ready for the next game then. So Odin's will be attacking this time, of course, against NoBeaches. What a match though. Like, it was really close. Like you said, Odin's just giving a bit too much space sometimes, and I hope they're able to fix it on the attack, because it definitely felt like Odin's were gonna be able to hold the defense if they did the few things better that you mentioned.
Yeah, it was very close. It was very, very close. Just a few small mistakes that ends up costing them the game. And would it have changed it if they'd done it that way? Who knows? But again, Amir did his job. Him and Vasectomy distracting on that resupply. So many of Odin's were trying to go back there to help clear it and just wasting so much time.
Yep.
You know, if those heroes had instead fought on the point, died on the point, would that have been better? Because again, like I said, there's no death limit in this. They still have plenty of time left. If they had units, is it not better to die on that point, help win that front fight more? And if you die, sure, you respawn in 20, 30 seconds with an extra unit, you know, because you've only died once or twice at that point. So, you know, just a few differences there that, again, just comes from experience in these tournaments, you know. They've just come off the back of CBL where you don't want to die. Have they now adjusted properly to playing in Rivals where you want to be a lot more aggressive? You can be a lot more aggressive. So maybe that's affecting it as well. And you've got to take into account as well that Beaches is basically exactly the same team with a couple of new additions. Odin's has got quite a few new people that have joined in. So more so than NoBeaches. And obviously the ones that have joined NoBeaches are old plebs players, so they have a lot of experience. The ones joining Odin's, do they have the same level of experience? Is that affecting them? But overall, very strong performance from both teams.
Well, that's the thing. So you're saying affecting, but I think not even affecting them in a bad way, but just not improving them perhaps as much as the addition of Flaps player versus two NoBeaches, because those players are already performing at the same high level, whereas Odin's Legion is mainly having new players coming from other like former Rustic teams or teams that went to the Feudal but not have played at the same like level against teams like Kebabs and Plebs and whatnot. So just kind of a different base level of team play there. Definitely.
I just think it was just a few small errors from them not being fast enough, not rotating quick enough, and just like I say, the mistake of not being able to die on that base point, going back to the supply and stacks. I mean, at one point I think there was 4 or 5 heroes on that supply for the defenders against Amir and Vasectomy.
Yep.
So again, it's just difference in numbers. If 3 of those heroes had gone to the front instead, would they have won that fight faster? Would they have won it cleaner? Could they have come back into the fight more easily? You know, there's a lot of small things like that that have a big impact on the game.
Yep. And for example, if you compare to Argonautas, they played really aggressively, were able to get some picks, and we also saw that from Odin's that they were able to, like, for example, kill Vasectomy once while he was flanking with the shield maintenance, killed his unit, and prevented him from doing his job for a couple minutes. But then, when everything comes together, it looks like NoBeaches is just stronger on executing and getting in the right positions.
Definitely. We're going to see if they can change that now going into this next match. Can they be more aggressive now with the attacks? Obviously, they can control the fights more on the attack now. They don't have to wait for the enemy to make the move. But at the same time, will NoBeaches defend really aggressively, take that fight to them, because they've seen that they can't handle it as easily when they take that fight to them. Will they try and do an A-B defense? Who knows? Because we've seen that Beaches are more open to having some different units, so having the Javelins in there, which not as many teams will play. So when all specialists are banned, what do teams adapt to? Some teams take Tertios, some teams have taken Houndsmen in the past, or Namkuns or Longbows. And they're a team that always resorts back to those jabs. So having that jab advantage, can they then hold A and B?
Absolutely. We're gonna find out in a bit, because the game is going to get underway. Teams are ready, casters ready, spectators ready. I hope the viewers are as well, because I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen. Here we go. Countdown. Something I noticed in terms of NoBeaches' hero choice was, of course, more Mauls. That's one, but also normally they have like Socialist Hippie and I think Hydra also and Cursefly sitting on the musket. This time only one musket, so clearly a different choice there. Yeah, there we go. We see Cursefly, Socialist Hippie, and Ioku back on the musket on the defense.
Yeah, a lot of Mauls as well for defense still. So, but yeah, those muskets shows me if they're running 3 muskets, I'm leaning more towards an A and B defense. Yeah, they don't have much cav this time. A few dagger axes in there, the same as last time, but no golden cav. But then at the same time, they're running 4 Madaus, which has always been a questionable decision of Beaches. They've always relied quite heavily on those Madaus, and it's never really paid off for them. So you'd think they'd maybe learn from that. Because me personally, I just feel Madaus are a waste of leadership. You know, if you're going to take an anti-cav, why not swap it to a tier 4 and you can take a different unit instead? So, for example, Curse Fly could take 40s instead of the Halberd Sergeants, and then could take a different tier 5 instead. Is that better? But NoBeaches are always a team that tries to rely more on Madaus, and I just feel like it doesn't work out for them most times.
Yeah, definitely just different idea on the meta for sure. I mean, if you compare it to, for example, Yabadi was very clear in just picking 3 different set of units and go with that. Real difference there.
We do see 2 sets of jabs for the attackers this time as well.
Exactly. I was going to mention, and also once again, Dan getting the incendiary archers out. Apparently, he believes it's another exotic unit that might be getting work done.
Again, it's really good for the camels, you know, because for example, people can play Cocos. They don't actually deal the burn damage to the camels. They don't kill them very quickly. Whereas fire archers, you press 2, you target camels, they die within a second. You know, just one volley just instantly kills them, basically. So they can be very useful, especially when a lot of teams are playing units that are flammable. They can still get some use from it.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go. Second game of the match of the day. After this match, we have still another match to be played. It's Apes versus Endgegner. So make sure to stick around because that match will be
will be an interesting one, because that will decide a lot of this pool as well.
Yep, absolutely. It means it may very well define which teams are already looking to fight for top 4, bottom 4, and spoiler, I think we've got a lot of teams fighting for the top place actually, more than we expected maybe. But it all depends on this match. I mean, if NoBeaches look really strong and they're able to win another match against one of the top teams, then they may very well be the strongest contender for the crown this season.
Definitely with how they've been performing so far.
Alright, let's see. Okay, so we got, let me get this one. There we go. We got some climbers, but
instant treb on that side. So one reason why that treb is good, although I think he actually misclicked that, but one reason why people will treb that culverin there, so it's the middle culverin out of 3, is because if you treb that middle culverin, it will also hit the one above it, so you'll kill 2 culverins with 1 treb. If you do it instantly at the start of the game, you instantly win that siege war on the B side, and you have that control from there. They actually lost the B side arty fight, so I think that's why they trebbed at the end.
Yep.
But they did kill the Scorpio. They haven't killed the Scorpio on A, but they've also got all of their units in base. So
yeah, and the battering ram already there as well. Yep. Right, so no beaches with the clear strategy in mind once again. Just giving a lot of time to Odin's Legion, a lot of room as well.
Odin's Legion could catch some units here though. They might catch these shield mains.
Absolutely.
Looks like they're all jumping for it now. Yeah, they're spam pinging it.
Looks like Amya's gonna protect it though. Oh, here comes no beaches.
There's a lot of heroes incoming now though for Odin's.
Starting to lose one.
How are NoBeaches going to react to this? Not very well. So they've lost a whole unit of shield mains there. They're losing some. That's just Demesna spears, so that doesn't really matter too much. Or Demesna pikes. But how many heroes do they lose this as well? Though these mauls might get caught here as well. How much can they punish?
That's 2. Alright, and this is going to be a quick B capture as well.
Third one as well.
Yeah, yep, there we go.
And the rest of the shield mains.
And another unit of Modal as well.
This is some big mistakes here from Beaches.
These are retreating Modal, and there's some more units like heroes killed as well, so where are they? And it looks like those will be fine, but ooh, that's a big loss there at the start.
Yeah, it's a couple of big picks. They're losing 2 tier 5s and a load of heroes.
Yeah, from the start, Odin's already had more tier 5s, but now especially it's a lead there. Right, so those 2 players need to watch out. So that was Hydra and Amya. Amya only losing Demesne Pikeman though, so he's not going to be worried about. But Damon Brewer also on NoBeaches.
By with one of them as well, wasn't it? Or did he get one of the kills?
Yes, Hydra got his shield maintenance lost, and then they got Damon Brewer lost his for shield Modal. He's still sitting with Fort Abracha right now.
Yeah, Jabaya just died with no units, that's fine. They might get some more picks here again, but again, it's just the musket play from NoBeaches. So they're trying to maintain control of that top wall with the muskets. They can get that poke and they can get the rotation. But Odin's are punishing it, or trying to punish it and force them back. Because if the muskets don't have the high ground, they can't do a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Alright,
so I imagine we'll see Odin's taking that high ground like NoBeaches and trying to farm them there with jabs for a bit, but we'll see how that plays out for them. Because I feel like NoBeaches is going to be a lot more aggressive than Odin's were on their defense.
Absolutely. So we're seeing more and more teams actually pick up the Claymore as well. I'm seeing 2 right now on Odin's side. We saw a couple on Yebudi as well, and Ioku is also playing them right now on NoBeaches. So nice defensive buff there for the attack and defense. Alright, where did they go? It looks like they're actually going for the main push right now. The center one. Alright, so Gladsheim is going to scout it, Pintro as well.
They might try and use that little glitchy spot, which they are using now. You see that one mall going across there to that position, but it looks like they're going to go for a full climbing, which is interesting call. Are they going to commit units to it as well or not? Because they have things like 40s.
The Crescent Monk's definitely up there.
Yeah, so they are climbing up, but then the question is, what are the 40s going to do? Because if they stay underneath, NoBeaches could be aggressive and push out.
Nice trap though. The trap killed like 20 40s I think there. So that's another half unit down from...
I think NoBeaches is going to try and push out the front here maybe because they can get a pick out front while the units are climbing. You can see them going for it now. Yeah, they're looking to push. Are they going to be able to hold this? Their 40s are really in bad position here for Odins. They need to move them into the gates. They can't push out.
They got scared.
Yeah, it's just heroes going out at the moment, but they might commit to this. The more units that climb, the easier it's going to be for them to push out.
They have sent in a trap though, so that's at least another trap lost for Odins. Amya's going to go to the supply, same with Senga. So they are...
They've got 2 heroes to counter it and a unit of monks, so it should be good.
Should be fine for sure.
Question is, what does taking this high ground give them? You know, they've got the jabs up there, sure, but they've got a lot of units that can't climb. You know, multiple 40s, they've got camels, and these units can get picked off.
Yeah, they need to be really coordinated. Like you said, like NoBeaches can really punish Odins if they don't do it well, and these jabs are going to be out of ammo quite soon, and then what do we do with those?
Yeah, they are now stuck up on the wall. You know, they could theoretically go into their base and go all the way back around to B from that way. And which could be a good idea. You know, if they force that fight at the back, their 40s and camels pushing at the front at the same time, that might be what they're trying to go for here, go for that split push.
But going all the way to the back also means that you're even more spread apart, and that makes it really easy, I think, for a team like NoBeaches to punish you.
Especially if these jabs have no ammo, you know. They've got to save a couple of throws so that when the fight happens, they can still throw in. I'm just not sure what Odin's doing here. You know, they've got a shield going down to the bottom with claymores, and everyone else is still at the top watching.
I think they're just trying to bait some traps, just trying to get NoBeaches to move and show their units.
Yeah, it's just very risky here. They could get collapsed on.
I mean,
but NoBeaches are just, you know, taking their time. They're not rushing into anything. They're letting Odin sort of set up before they decide what they're going to do. They've got muskets poking them down the whole time.
Alright, so NoBeaches back in a corner that we've always been seeing from Kurak Castle.
Yeah, can these jabs get enough use here? That's my question, though. And can they pressure? I mean, if this was me, frontside, I'd start pressuring now, because all they've got there is a Madara and a Shield Maiden, you know? And you've got 3 units out there at least. So I'd start trying to pressure frontside, get a few picks off here.
Yep.
Trying to force NoBeaches to make a decision.
With a nice pick there. The Modal at the front side, though, they lost 10 of them thanks to the javelins, so that's a good one.
Yeah, and this is what I mean, like they can easily pressure this. It looks like these imp pikes are suiciding in now, though, because they're not paying attention. Or is he actually advancing? No, they're actually going. They're just a bit ahead of the rest of the team.
Yep, absolutely. They're also trying to go to the left.
They're forcing the fight now on all sides. This is really good. They're doing a really good split here. But it's going to depend on how easy they can win and whether they can hold this backside now, because NoBeaches is trying to flank them on the wall. So if they can win these other fights clean enough and just hold, they've got one halberd sergeant that's trying to hold there.
The only thing they don't have right now is a supply book, but Odin's really pushing hard through, and they also got the camels and the Fortebraccia ready to graze on the point, I think.
Yeah, the hero loss though is just too much, I feel, for Odin's here. They're just losing way too many heroes. NoBeaches has well, maybe they can win it now, but NoBeaches had the good play of having claymores, because they can waste a lot of time.
Amya, Zenga and our Hydra fighting on the right side are really getting their ground back. Here comes the Cav. If this Cav gets through, it's done, I think, for Odin's on this fight.
I mean, Odin's has some camels, but they're not in position.
Yep.
So yeah, that's over there.
Clean wipe there. Yep.
They didn't win the hero fight well enough, and like you said, they didn't have anyone blocking the supply. Still, units are fairly even though, so they're not that far behind right now. If anything, it's in the favor of Odin still.
Yeah,
so.
It still is the picks at the start are really making a difference right now, I think, to hold them in the lead. And let's take a look at what units are left here. So I'm seeing a lot of unused cap still on Odin's side.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the mental now with Odin's, whether they can maintain this going forward. So a lot of them still have 2 units left. I mean, some of them still have 3 units left.
Yep, exactly.
It's whether they can maintain the mental to keep fighting, because they are in a decent position. You know? They can definitely still win this. I mean, if you look at anti-cav for the defenders, still got a decent amount left, you know, a couple 40s, a couple camels, they still got all those Madaus. So I don't think it's going to be easy for Odin's to brute force with cav, but if they can play it properly, take the front melee fight, and then come and clear with cav afterwards, they might still be able to do something with that cav.
And again, it's the small things. I think Odin's not blocking the supply made a difference. Also, them not having these units braced on the point made the difference at the end, but then by then it was already done, of course. Alright, so different approach this time from Odin's. I like this. Not going the same strategy twice. I mean, of course it worked, but they need to do everything. And I would like to see them like rotate quickly to the cav that they have. Like push.
I mean, they still need to pressure multiple points. To be honest, I'd be looking more to do a base push here. See if they can try and catch off some of the, like those 40s on the resupply. But again, they're just losing heroes here.
Yeah, Amya and Demonbur getting the picks there. That's really good. So still 8 minutes, plenty of time. But again,
it was Demember's camels killed a couple of them. So I imagine it was the usual. They sprinted into the brace camels, didn't realize,
looks like it.
Got one shot.
3 out of 12 camels left though, so definitely taking a hit there.
Yeah, they got some jabs there that are poking quite aggressively. Then my question is, why did the heroes go in if they got the jabs there to poke them down? But they've got the high ground now, but they don't have any of their muskets up there, so their muskets down underneath at the moment, so they don't gain anything as high ground, and NoBeaches is now going to push aggressively.
Yeah, this is the point guard fight for sure. Yeah. Where's the trap coming?
They need to pull all the way back to then hold the one position. Right now they're going to get hit from 2 sides, and it's going to be so hard to hold.
Trap just hit, so they don't have a trap for 8 seconds, so that's not good.
Like this imp advance at the front is good into those monks because it does CC them, but they've got nothing to support it because the rest are fighting further back. Yeah, just a really bad position for them. If you're fighting that position, like you need to pull back to here where they're fighting now is where they should fight from the start.
Yeah. And this is where the trap comes in, it's going to be too late. Ooh, nice flank from Denan though. He may be able to keep them there for a bit longer. This might be really big. Just, I don't see enough numbers going down though. A lot of damage, but no deaths, I think.
Yeah, that's just, it was almost a clean unit trade there. NoBeaches lost almost nothing there, and Odin's lost everything. It was one of the worst possible fights they could have had there for Odin's. Again, it's just the experience on this map, right? Not a lot of teams have experience on this map, so when they're getting pushed into like that, the call there needs to be to pull back and just hold it in a choke where you have one position, because they didn't have the setup there. They were pushed in from 2 different sides, and they just got completely fucked by it.
Yeah, absolutely.
From that flank. So they need to just be more having that experience to pull back and just focus then front to back. Especially because they had the jab advantage, but some of their units weren't there yet. So, they were pushing in a bit too greedy. They had 2 or 3 units that weren't in the fight yet when they pushed in, and NoBeaches saw that and made the decision to push. It was really smart from them.
Absolutely, and Amya's back on his fighting, on his assassin award again. He's getting the 5 hero kills already. So trying to make another good showing here. Looks like he definitely found his way into this team, and also vasectomy, of course, like we said before the match, and also what we saw in the game already. Always making sure to be on the flanks, and I think also players like was it Demon the Maul player, even though he died at the start and lost his unit, he too has been sitting on the flanks, clearly enjoying what Amya and vasectomy are bringing to the team right now.
Yeah, I think it's having the ability to rely on your team to know that they can not always just take the fight on the front line, but just hold while you're flanking. That is something that's big for some of these top teams. Like, you see a lot of the less experienced teams, they won't have those big flanks. They won't just hold on the front. It's either they fight and die and lose, or they just sit and wait for the enemy to push. They can't have that controlled fight where they just hold it on the front defensively while the flank's coming in. Whereas these top teams, they can rely on these people. They know the flank's coming. They can time it a lot better, and you see it there with the flanks coming in and how impactful those flanks are.
Yep, absolutely. Vasectomy once again getting ready to jump down, I think. We see some Metatory out as well. That's not a good sign. Yeah.
Is it too late though?
Yep, absolutely. Alright, so 5 minutes
There's nothing
left
here
on the
they
clock.
can really pick off is the problem now. So they can bait them into some trebs here. They do have 6 trebs left, so it's not bad. But now they've got some hussars that are getting caught. They've got Liaos are getting caught at the back here. Can they get them through in time?
No,
So they just lost a few units there. So little losses like this is just, again, the experience from teams. They didn't move together as one. They moved a bit one by one. They got caught out, lost some of their best units left. That's now going to have an even bigger impact again.
Absolutely.
And you can see NoBeaches aren't getting baited into this. They're not going to the back. They're not going to sit in that choke where the treb is at the moment. They're just waiting behind the point where they can't get trebbed.
Yep.
And it looks like they're even going to follow them behind, which is a smart decision, because they can't get trebbed there. So they've got a few units trying to follow from behind to affect that. Can Odin see this, take the advantage from that, and start pushing point?
Yep, absolutely. And we just saw, I think, someone leaving the game for Odin as well, probably disconnected. So hopefully he gets back in time, because Odin definitely needs another player.
It was actually from.
It was in red, right? Or was it? Oh, it's Curse Fly.
Yeah,
it's Curse Fly, I think.
Looks like he's back in already now, though.
All
So
right, good.
just a quick little disconnect there. Or maybe it was intentional, so he can respawn in base with his units.
And that would be possible. All right, so Odin's having so much cap out right now. Like, how much anti-cap is there? So there's 1, 2 for the Bracho. Now the Modal may come in handy. 2 units of those.
Yeah, I mean, Beaches has what? 2 40s, 2 Medaus, 2 camels. So this cav is going to be hard to actually get much use here.
Yep.
Especially with, you can see them flying here. They're going to catch small units at the back here again.
They're going to
see how aggressive they're being. They're going to lose some cav here.
Right, so camels
They brace the camels, but these Liaos need to just go in.
Yep.
There you go. So they have got through now.
Oh, but NoBeaches, they're definitely going to flank. And I'm like, Odin is actually pushed into one position, and
They are kind
NoBeaches
of
are
dropping
flanking.
control of the point here. Odin's need to just clear the backside first now, because Beaches are giving them that control of the point. They don't really care about it too much. They need to turn around, kill what's flanking them, and then go forwards. At the moment, you can see they're kind of getting split. They're trying to fight on both sides at the same time.
Yep. Nice brace
Can
though
they
from both
clear it?
camels and the Modal. Ooh, great clear there from the hussars.
Big hussar charge. That was huge. Can they kill the heroes now? They just wiped massively there. That was a massive charge there.
That was absolutely.
They have lost control of the back. They need to focus on heroes now. Just focus on clearing heroes. Because they've got a huge hero clear there.
Here comes Amya though. Here comes Amya. He might be getting back in there as well.
They've got 40s there that wiped it though. 40s dealt with it.
Alright. Ooh, here comes another one though.
Oh, but another cav from the
yeah,
front.
here we go. This is NoBeaches time.
They didn't clear the heroes. Oh, they just got absolutely wiped by that cav. Yeah, they need to clear more heroes on that point. You saw they had that first wipe and then they just spread out too much trying to clear stuff. They just need to focus on heroes there. A really good defense there by Beaches.
Absolutely.
Really good cav clear by Odin's, but then they just couldn't focus on clearing those heroes.
Yep.
And then they got punished for it. And it's a problem you do see with a lot of teams is they'll get some hero kills, they'll start winning the fight, and instead of focusing the next heroes, they'll focus the units instead. and those units are going to retreat in a few seconds. You don't need to focus it. And especially, we've seen over multiple games today how impactful those hero kills are. And you see the teams that win have they're not even winning by that many units. They're winning because of the hero kills that are delaying the fights long enough. And if they killed a few more heroes on that point, maybe it could have been different. But really, really good defense there by Beaches. They weren't baited into the trap spots. They played it controlled. Bit risky there with the Hussar charge that did wipe a lot of them, and made some mistakes at the start getting caught. But overall, pretty clean defense by them.
Yep, absolutely right. And Odin's looked good, but clearly have not been able to improve too much, not compared to NoBeaches at least, since CBL. Definitely
I
strong,
think,
but
just a few
not enough.
small mistakes from them. It's like almost every fight, there's one or two little mistakes here and there, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're fighting in Feudal with these other top teams, those one or two mistakes will be punished.
Exactly, and you could also mean NoBeaches making those mistakes as well at the start, losing 2 of their best units, and even then, Odin's not able to really punish that in the end.
Yeah, definitely some mistakes from Beaches as well. But yeah, Odin just couldn't punish on it, and they made some mistakes themselves, got caught out in some bad positions, and just lost the game from that.
Yep, and now we got a 30-second fight for the respawn point, which is not going to happen, of course. And we could see Amia was trying to get some more kills, but I don't think
that'll be 100%. Was I know what the call will be right now. But Amia's shouting in there, "Give me the kills, give me the kills! I need more hero kills."
And I can tell you, it worked quite well this game. So apparently, Machin has decided to make sure that Amia is getting his fair share of the kills as well.
One thing we need to look at after this from your document is see who the top hero killers are at the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I know that some people in chat were asking that earlier.
Alright, there we go. So NoBeaches picking up their match win, second match win of the season. They're still undefeated. If we go to the score already, I think the only team that's undefeated right now, since Argonautas tied their match against Bondguard. And Odin's was the other team to win, but they of course lost this one. So NoBeaches clear in the win, no matter what the result is from our next match. But let's go over the team. So Zenga and Amia doing really well. And look at that, there we go, 9 hero kills. So it's Amia's again pushing for that most hero kills. I think he's still got some catching up to do, but
yeah, I think Dan got off quite well in the first week, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He got he also got 8 or 9 in one match. I think it was not even more.
Yeah. EOQ pulling a decent performance features as well, 5 hero kills, so again good across the board. You got UPS or ups with 130 unit kills, so again really good there. And then over on Odin's side, again, not bad performances over there. You got Akabuk farming with 168 unit kills, but then it's like you have the top sort of 5 on their team, and then the rest are all under 30 unit kills. And there's this very low unit kills and very low hero kills.
Again, I mean, today I think the story has really been hero kills. If you look at the amount of death on NoBeaches, it's just almost not there.
Yeah, I mean it's 39 deaths to 15, and that does really show. And you can argue, it's rivals. You can get more deaths if you're being impactful, but like this game, there are no specialists. They're not suiciding for unit kills. It's just the fights. They're just not winning clean enough. Is that down to the hero comp? These people playing Maul because it's so strong right now, but they're not getting the hero kills. And you look at Beaches, and they've got musket and a dual blade that are just picking up all the hero kills. And obviously vasectomy with 5 hero kills as well is a good performance. But yes, are people just playing Maul because it's deemed as being meta and strong, and then they're not playing their class where they're good at? Are they showing weaker performances on hero kills because of that? Maul is very good for clearing units, but if you're not being able to focus down those heroes well enough and not being able to finish off those heroes, you're just not going to win.
Yeah. Absolutely. Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can get someone in here for a short interview. I just make it real quick, and then I'm gonna check if we can find something about the hero kills, just so we know who was doing really well last week, and we may be able to figure out who's on top together with this week as well.
All I can say is Amia did awful last week on hero kills.
Yeah, he did.
So he's really trying to pull it out this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so let me just get that. Again, it's not fully updated though, so I'll be able to tell you guys who was doing well on other teams, but we won't be able to, like for example, NoBeaches not in there, so that's
yeah, but we know that Amia did awful last week with hero kills.
Exactly, yeah, but also there were some guys on NoBeaches that did really well. All right, we're gonna get Amia in here first, and then we'll move on from there. Let's see where he is. Can't find him right now.
He's not in a call right now, I don't think. Oh no, he's up at the top in the lounge area.
Oh, he's in the top? Alright. Ah, yeah, there it is. You, Amya.
Hello, Mr. CBR.
Hey, man.
Ah,
How are you
it
doing?
was a great game. I'm good, I'm good.
Wait,
Yes.
you're quite soft, so let's fix your sound first, and then we can talk.
Oh wait, I can get my mic closer. It's all good.
Can you make it a bit louder? I've got you maxed out here.
It should be good now, I think. I hope it's not that loud.
It's a bit soft, but I hope we can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good to see you finally getting some hero kills, Amir.
Nah, it was hard mission. But it's still bad because I only got them in the defense. In the attack, I cancelled the supply for the whole game, so I didn't get any hero kill.
I think it was only 2 for you in the attack, wasn't it?
Yeah, in attack, I had legit all my unit left. Because our mission, first, you know, on this map, since the respawn is so close, is to do one trade, then go back, and you redo the last push, and then you win. But after we cancelled supply and we saw that they legit ignored us, like they were 3 people on supply, but they like said, fuck it, just kill me, I will not even try to kill you, and they legit FK. So me and Vaz, like, we cancelled the supply for, like, I think, the whole duration of the push, and after that we just win because we just kept coming with our respawner and the people swapping unit, and in the final we win. But the thing is that this is great move because your team win, but for the stat it's very bad.
Yeah, exactly. And also last week, I think as well, right? You guys were always pushing outside to kill like the Zikali militia from Endgainer, but not really getting the kills back there. Yeah.
To be honest, that first game against Endgainer, it have to be one of the most funny game I ever played. Like, legit, every 20 seconds, you heard someone in your team screaming, guys, I got Coco, guys, I'm going on Coco.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is that usually teams, they took like 2-3 max, but I don't know, in Gainers they took like 5-6, so it was even funnier because it was never stopping. We took it was stopping, and then again someone yelled, yeah, I got the Coco. It was
Another
really
one.
Yeah.
It was like my game today, Amir. So we were playing on Hidden City, and the attackers had 5 sets of flames in their center.
Holy shit.
It was just like, we killed another. Wait, there's another set of flames. Wait, there's another set of flames.
Yeah, exactly.
The exotic.
Yeah, right. So Amya, as we all know, you are 3-time Assassin Award hero right now for CBR Rivals. So I'm just checking to see who's your biggest contester for this season, and I'm gonna tell you it's going to be pretty hard, I think, because
it's already lost to me, if I'm realistic.
it might be. I mean, Dan last week at 12 hero kills, of course, not doing too hot today, so you might be able to catch up to him. MX New from Yeah Buddy didn't get too many today, but then we have Lazy Imperator. He had 9 last week. He got 13 this week. So
if I had 2-3 shots, I will definitely say that he's gonna get it.
Yeah, so he's sitting at 22 right now. So I know you need to make sure he's got an injury or something and can't play for a couple of weeks to catch up or something.
I think next week's going to be a big decider for it, right? Because you're facing Yeah Buddy next week.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, that might be a chance. Like, make sure that
next week is pretty much already the final of this CBR Rivals.
Well, who knows? Yeah, it might be.
I don't know. Yeah Buddy lost around to Pongard, so they didn't have the best performance.
So the only way for them to win is to 2-0 us, and for us we need.
You need to tie against Pongard, for example.
Why not tie? But maybe 2-0 is the way we should go. So.
Yeah.
So, I will not get it because this season, like last few season with Pleb, we had like first season and second season, it was quite a complete domination. So sometimes we could. Like legit people give me kill, you know, like in the group.
It
was like people saying, okay, Amia, this guy is low, come kill him. But no, with NoBeaches against Yeah Buddy and Odin's, you cannot like, I can't choose to like play, for example, Chev, Maiden, new weapon, and just farm the hero kill. I prefer to do like 0 unit kill, 0 hero kill, just cancel supply and my team win. I prefer a win than getting the assassination award again.
Just getting your excuses in early when you don't win it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's only round 2, so I'm pretty sure you can catch up somewhere as well, especially if you keep winning games. So looking forward to.
But I mean, if I'm quite honest, like even if I wanted to, like even if I never cancel supply, you know, did the job to kill hero, I don't think I will get it because dual bait is so shit to get hero kill right now.
Yeah.
I think
have you considered switching a weapon actually? Because Machin was talking about you being a good musket as well. We saw last week where like 3 muskets always kill stealing from you, stuff like this.
The deathmatch I do always as musket, but the thing is that for the team, like I said, we need that cancel supply, we need that shuriken. the Shuriken debuff is quite insane for the tournament game.
Yep.
The Shuriken is doing minus 15% damage on all units. So basically, I debuff the Halberd in front lane, the Monk, and like every Monk win the trade for us and not the enemy, because then they are not debuff. The slow is also insane, it's like a 50% slow. Then you have what? You have the bomb that I play that buff the damage on 20%. Like I can basically every 20 seconds I can legit wipe a monk for free, like that monk that can do nothing and he's dead. So in the meta it's pretty strong, and I cannot swap to musket because we already got 3. I cannot swap to new weapon because that new weapon is very limited in what you can do. It's pretty shit.
I got you.
Yeah,
Well, Lazy Imperator is getting the kill, so maybe it might still be a good one.
Yes, he have the best setup and he's playing it well, to be honest. Like he have
Alright,
the
right.
new weapon Maiden. That shit is farming the hero kill.
Yeah, he's doing well on that one. Alright.
But then I think you still got a lot of chance to farm some hero kills though.
Yeah.
When you look at your obviously you got Yeah Buddy next week, but then
Yeah.
I think Pond Guard round 4 could still be an interesting one. Maybe they can pull out a surprise win against you guys as well.
Yep.
After that, then you've got a pretty, I would say, pretty free run just to farm people till the end.
Yeah, the people less experienced than us, so we
Yeah.
should
So
win.
Why So Serious could maybe put up a good fight, but after the performance today, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
You got Argonauts then round 6, who again very strong performance from them today.
Yes.
So
They're
they
getting
could
very
potentially
strong.
do something there as well.
When they got created, it was one of the teams that I like people underestimate because it's full French. But then they like never stop training, never stop doing every tournament, and they are getting like.
And like I said,
Yep.
they're not afraid to fight the top players. Like they were scrimming plebs a lot. They scrimmed a lot of the other top teams as well. They're not afraid to have those practice fights because they know that they learn a lot from it.
Absolutely.
And they pulled out a good strat today. So maybe they can give you a run for your money as well. So actually, having said that, I think you do actually have a few tough fights ahead. So
Yes.
maybe you
It's,
can't free farm.
This
but-
season I like it because White would play Benser Slayer since it's the new merge of Yebudi is like quite. People don't know, if it will perform good. Like NoBeaches, we have a new roster. It's like no hard domination like the last few seasons with Pleb.
Yeah, it's a lot more even.
It's
Yep.
and even for the not the winner itself, but the top 3, the top 4 is not even decided yet. Like it's you cannot predict what will happen. It's pretty good this season. I like it because everything is not set like the last few seasons. Last few seasons you could guess who is gonna be in top 3. Why to much doubt to be honest. So.
Yeah, quite so. Yeah. Yeah. Now with Odin's Legion, of course, was already surprising teams, right? Like last season, and now we have Argonautas, who is maybe also going to do the same. So then we get another team that may very well upset teams like NoBeaches. So that could actually change the standings quite a bit over the next couple of weeks. So
I think for the viewer it's really good to watch. Like
Yep.
it's new team, new player everywhere. Like you don't know who will win. There is like equal team at the bottom of the feudal, middle feudal, and top feudal. It's
Exactly.
really good to watch.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, yeah. So next match, Apes versus Endgegner. 2 of the teams that are currently sitting at the bottom, and one of those 2 is going to hopefully go to the middle if they win. Unless they tie, then they will still be sitting at the bottom. You
It's
can
the
watch.
match for the honor.
Yeah. So and you will be able to watch Fan de Amia. So that will be fun, I think. So what is your prediction for Apes and Endgegner?
I will predict a tie. When I hope Fandamia will do good because he took a bit of my name. Sometimes he honors it, sometimes he doesn't. But what I find funny is that he became a good meme in the community. Like at first, everyone was flaming him. Not gonna lie, like it was like they were tagging me on the drama Discord saying, "Who the fuck is this guy? Why is he in my game?" And then people started to like him. I don't know. It's like legit a meme for the community. It's really good, and he's starting to get sometimes good move and sometimes less good move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite funny. All right. Let me just for you, I'll check if he's actually done well last week because I can check in the database.
I don't think he was here last week, because
I think he may have played one, didn't he?
To get him a little bit of fame, like he's very busy. He's a League of Legends coach, professional, and so
really?
most of the time he's busy doing other things.
Ah,
So
that's
he plays
interesting.
CB as a half-time thing. That's his excuses to when he do bad move.
Nice.
So he's following after you and getting excuses in early. Then that's what you're saying.
Yes, legit, yes.
At least he's living true to your reputation, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes. If you do good, it's because of him. If you don't do good, it's because of the other. That's the best excuse ever.
Yep. Alright, so far Van got I think 3 or 6 kills. Let me check. Probably 6.
Yeah, his job on the team is the same as me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I teach him how to play, so he legit do the same as me. And
Nice.
the team that recruited him, they give him the same mission, and I talk with
Oh.
him sometime to give him information.
Nice. Alright. So currently he's sitting at 6 hero kills I think for this season. So hopefully he'll get some more. Because in the Rustic division there are some guys like Yen with 17 kills in the first round. So also on a dual blade, by the way, so player from Nice Try. So maybe
I think
that's
in
another
the
one you
lower
should be
division,
watching.
the dual blade get a lot of hero kill because they seem to play a lot more heavy, like less musket. Like all the musket are basically in Feudal, the good musket player. Sorry if you are a rustic musket and are often.
No worries.
So basically, I think the dual blade is the main class to get hero kill and rustic, and Yen is really doing well because he's like really old player playing in season 1. He play every ranked, he play every tournament. He's really good. So yeah. He will get, I think, the rustic.
Absolutely. Alright, so we're gonna get the next game underway. So you're expecting a tie. Will be a tie on attack or defense?
This map, I think. I'm not sure for rustic because you know sometimes the meta is very different for rustic and feudal. Sometimes the map is sided defense for feudal, but the map is sided like attack for the rustic. So I don't even know. I didn't get much information.
I see.
Okay. Actually, the snipe queue will start, so we'll let you guys. Good luck for the stream.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah, bud.
Alright.
What do you think is going to be the outcome of this game, CB?
What, say again?
What do you think is going to be the outcome of this game?
I think honestly, I do think Apes got the upper hand here. Just because I feel like Endganger is really just beginning to really come together. Also based on the interview that I had with Susno and Chimera, like they are again creating a whole new team. And of course, some players like XM and Novelty have been with them for a long time. But and you could see it against NoBeaches. Of course, NoBeaches being extremely strong, but I feel like
I think it's gonna be hard to compare at the moment because we haven't really seen a lot from them. Because obviously NoBeaches, the top team going into this, most would say. So it's hard to have a good showing against a team like that.
That's true. But then again, Apes played Argonautas, and Argonautas played really well. It was a closer match, so that made me feel like, especially looking what Argonautas did today, that Apes may be stronger than what we expect from Endganger.
Yeah, potentially. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very close match. I do think it's probably going to be 1-1 as well. I think the attackers will probably win both rounds.
All right.
That's my call anyway. Actually, what are the bans for this one? So let's go through that. So we've got Falcos, Sifinario, Shenji, and then the monks. So Cocos are up, and we do know, especially from what Amir just said as well, that EG are a big fan of Cocos. Never-ending stream of them. So we'll see how many they play today. Does this mean they want to try and do an A and B hold with the Cocos up? Is it going to be too hard to hold if the enemies have Cocos? You know, there's a lot of things could impact that as well. Are we going to see another A-B defense? Are we going to see a B base defense? Are we going to see just a base defense? You know, there's a lot of different things that can happen in this game. But I do think the attackers will probably win it both times.
All right. So we're switching our opinion of this map again, back from defense to attack then.
Yeah, I just think that with one good wipe on base point, like the attackers can have such a good advantage there.
Absolutely.
As we've seen in the last couple of games. So as long as it's, I think if they are fighting on base point and the attackers get one clean fight, they will be able to win it.
But it does require, like we've seen in these matches, that the attacker needs to lock down the point, right? And that's something where some of the teams, especially the ones that are not performing at the highest level, have definitely been struggling to close that game out.
I mean, you see it with a lot of the top teams. So they'll have like one unit that they keep kind of more safe towards the back, so that when the fight's coming to an end, they have those 40s, those camels, they can move forwards to block the cav. Whereas you see with some of the less experienced teams, they just put all of their anti-cav on the front, they end up losing it to other melees, and then the enemy cav comes through and wipes. So if they can play it a bit safer, have that anti-cav ready to be bracing it towards the back. Because again, a lot of top teams, they'll have multiple anti-cav, they'll have one or two at the front, but they'll have sort of one middle line, and maybe even one at the back waiting as well. It's being able to have that staggered anti-cav so you don't lose it all in one go, like to an imp advance or just to the melees coming through, that can then move into position to then hold against the cleanup cav, so to speak. So can these teams have that position where they can win the fight well enough to have units then to brace on point to deal with the cav that's going to come back in from the enemy afterwards?
Yep, it will be good to see for sure. All right. So we're waiting for one more player. I'm gonna already show you in the lobby. So that's good. Cudgel monks are in there just to let you know that the monks are banned. But I will remove those in case someone wants to pick Cudgel monks. Who knows?
I mean, they've got a nice debuff on them. I don't see it's worth playing when you've got leadership, but maybe someone wants them.
Exactly. I like that you know at least that much about units, that they might have a chance of being played. But
yeah, I mean, some teams have played them in the past,
Mhm.
especially when it's a melee meta, because they just apply a huge debuff that they could potentially be useful. But then it's like, why would you take that when you take other debuff units instead?
Yeah.
Especially when you have the leadership gear that's unlocked, like it's just bad leadership usage, really.
Yep, absolutely right. I mean, there's just so many more strong ones. 1 minute, it's ready. All right, everyone is ready. I'm just gonna make sure that Torko is as well.
Yeah, it looks like both sides have said they're ready.
Yeah, just want to make sure because most of the time the French stream is Matchin as well, and Arcanopus. So gonna check if he is ready as well.
Yeah, Thorkel's in here, so that should be.
Yeah, so it should be fine.
Good.
Alright, so this is our last match of the day. And I think we'll be able to get it in a way.
Right, how many Cocos do you think EG are going to play?
I'm expecting
defense?
4, and I think that's on the high end.
I'm going to go with 6.
6! Oh my
Yeah, I'm
goodness!
gonna push it out there and say 6.
You're being realistic here. I feel it. Who knows? Oh, alright, so if you're saying... If you're saying 6, then I'm saying also 3 or 4 javelins. Just destroy the B tower, and then they will be like full ham on the A point.
I don't know. I don't know if Cessna will have the balls to go with jabs and go for the tower hold, because it's not the easiest thing to pull off.
Oh, alright. We're gonna wait one crest fill, but yeah. Alright, well, if they bring this Italian, they definitely got the balls, but they just gotta show them, I guess. Alright, so we're chilling for a minute since someone crashed. Other than that, we should be ready.
Well, they say they crashed, but they're still
they're still in there. I'm not surprised. Might be another spectator bug, or am I missing someone? Oh, there we go. Now we lost him. It's like you're listening to me. We are on a 3-minute delay, but now I'm doubting in my room here. Might be bugged.
Yeah, remember that package I sent you last week? It was there's a microphone inside that teddy bear. You know.
Oh, was that you? No. It had this funny apes image on it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Suspicious. Yeah. So, from team captain to team captain, how do you? Because this is something I like to talk about because I'm trying to create a narrative, right, for Conquest Blade teams and tournaments and whatnot. So, you're one of the, you are. Oh well, yeah. You're not anymore the DT team captain. So right now you were one of the best performing team captains in history of Conquest Blade, but Susno also was before you guys showed up. So how do you look at like the Endgegner dynasty they had when they were already strong?
I would say that they were very strong at the time, but I would say comparatively there weren't any other really good teams at the time. Towards the end, like their sort of last win, that was obviously when Pleb started coming in when they beat us, and they had some still like good consistency there, but then after that they kind of disappeared off the face of the planet. When we had all the other teams coming in. So I'd say at the time when they were strong, but comparatively other teams weren't as strong.
Right.
Whereas
Well,
I would say Plebs were playing with some of the best teams this game's seen.
Yeah, makes sense, absolutely. Alright, so we're gonna find out if Susno and Chimera can get Endgegner back to the same level again, or maybe even better, because all teams have been improving. So
yeah, they definitely got some good players in there. They've had some good pickups. So can they get back to the sort of level and consistency they were at before?
Exactly. Alright, so here we are once again. So counting Zicalian, only counting 1 so far, but definitely more are expected. So let's check out hero class. Is actually quite light on the ape side. Getting 3, still counting.
Come on. 4, actually, come on. One more, come on.
Equal balls. There we go. We got a 4th. I'm counting 3 on the attack side as well. Also a javelin.
I think it's only going to be 4, but yeah, there are 2 jabs out at the start.
We also got 1 longbow.
Looks like you were right with the 4 Cocos.
Thank you, much appreciated. Right, so it's XCOM, someone else, Susno. I think it's Chimera actually. Oh, Chimera as well.
The only thing that I would say I don't like here about EG's setup is it's very triple tier 4 heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. And also even like Susno and Chimera having the Zakalian and Alchemist as well. Like
Yeah, but it's like, couldn't they just go, double tier 5 and a tier 4? Do they not have the leadership for that?
Yep.
Or could they not run a tier 5, a tier 4, and a tier 3?
It's almost like
they've got to have some options that are better than just running what they're running.
It's almost like they're trying to fight 4 fights within this game.
This is where I feel Susno is weak at the moment, is that he's just not there with the meta in tournaments how it is now. Their setup feels very CBL format, which is obviously what they last sort of played in properly. It feels like they're not reacting and progressing as well as other captains and as other teams. Because it was a hell of a lot of triple tier 4, which when you have people running like 780 leadership pluses, which is what most players have right now, you should be able to run much better setups than that, right?
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. Maybe hopefully they can make it work. So we're gonna find out again. Gonna spot out where they're gonna go and if they are gonna destroy the B artillery first.
Well, it looks like they're going to do some kind of defense on A and B at least, because they've got all the units here still, so
Exactly,
they're not running back to the back like other teams have done.
Yep, even bring them up the wall as well, so that's a good start.
They should win this siege war on B now,
absolutely.
because they've killed both Corbins already, so they need to kill the Scorpio now as well.
All Artie's still standing and not seeing any trap flying in yet. Alright, so let's take a look here. So camels for the Roger sitting at the gate as expected. Javelins actually as well, but they're waiting downstairs, so apparently they don't want to necessarily destroy any towers with it.
I think this is really just going to come down to who can use their cav the best, right? Because you've got some golden cav for the side of apes, but you have just heavy dagger axes, e.g. So if apes can get some good clears with their hussars that they got and the katas, can potentially do a lot of work there. And again, it's just their shield mains. They've got like 5 or 6 units of shield mains, which can have a big impact on this game.
And actually something funny here, Scotch is trying to destroy this Gulfrun that's still sitting there on the middle tower. So still alive.
They still haven't cleared that Scorpio though.
Yeah.
Which I think they were aiming for, but then the tower got in the way.
The tower really low.
So they might still be able to get one more shot there.
So
you can see that they are playing it smart. They had one guy on his Susno has actually been quite smart there, sat on his horse in front of it, so that the longbow couldn't shoot the Colvin. He was shooting the horse instead. So really smart play there. They actually got close to killing the tower on B, but they didn't quite finish it because they then
might be in trouble here. Or is he? Alright, so aggressive pusher from the muskets from Susno. I know that Engagement was definitely looking for muskets, but they're dropping though.
Yeah,
Ooh, those shield maidens.
They didn't commit quick enough because they still had a maul and a longsword at the top watching. If they'd gone in all together, they could have maybe done something. Instead, they just ended up dying for free.
Alright, they're doing what NoBeaches has told everyone, which is put an Imperial Spear Guard unit in there. Do not get trapped, although it may get trapped if it's too far forward.
The mauls pushed it back a little bit though. Palace guards might get caught.
Alright, looks fine.
And again, like the choice of Palace guards here is also a question one for me. I know they did get buffed recently, so I haven't seen personally how good they are, but you would have thought, especially because they're running heavy triple tier 4 on most of these players, surely they can run a better unit.
Yep, absolutely. Meanwhile, Ki, Gruen and Wuxtalik fighting their one Imperial Spear Guard against these Myrmidons. These mauls really need to do work if they want to get through anything here. Another trap.
Yeah, these Imps are going to hold a lot, but this Treb is going to be huge. If they don't push forward, this Treb's going to completely wipe them.
Miss, hit. So close.
Yeah, another miss there actually. So it wasn't too bad, but these last two might do some work.
This one should. Anyone should hit actually, but
that longsword is going to be healing them up, so I don't know if they've lost a massive amount. You can see he's already got a Movable as a Mountain achievement, which means he's tanked a lot of damage.
They're actually alright. So they have lost in the end. I think both units, so the Imperial Spear Guards and the Myrmidons, and for only one Imperial Spear Guards on Apes. This is kind of a messy and weird fight right now. Apes slowly gaining some ground.
They are getting very unlucky with these Trebs.
Yep. Oh, except for this one. Yeah, call it.
But they are holding quite well here. But now they're backing off, so these units on the front are getting sold a bit here. You see a lot of units are retreating.
This is the location for Zircalian Militia. Where are the Zircalian Militia right now? This is where you need them.
Yeah, this could be a huge clear for these Myrms if they get in well enough here from the side. They've got a nice flank there, but
Bananas only just now bring up a Zircalian Militia. This is too late, I think.
Well, they didn't have any out from the start. That's the thing. So
here we go. Yep, here we go. But these are gonna get killed.
Yeah. So now he's gonna lose them for free. But it's fine because they have another one.
Yep, exactly. Another 3 actually. It's triple. But yeah, really weird fight there from Antiker, I think. I mean, the base, like the front line was good, but the Zakalian mission was just not there for the DPS.
And just the unit trade overall, they were just pretty awful. If you looked at it before going into that, they had about 200 lead of tier 4s. Now they're even on tier 4 units. Whilst they are ahead with units at the moment, they have a lot more serfs than the attackers. The attackers have almost no serfs, and they have 300 serfs.
Exactly,
So,
and also the attackers have 200 more T5, so it's
exactly. So it's not looking the best here right now. But again, we have seen teams defend on this base point. It's going to depend on how aggressive they can be, what usage they get out of their Cocos now. Could make a lot of difference here.
Exactly right. Alright, so let's see how Apes approach this one. So they are probably going to take the time to capture B and the supply as well, at least I would expect so. Unless they really want to rush it. Let's see. So again, Palace Guard are out. Also the Stalwarts for Engigner, for Braccio backing them up. So kind of the same setup. Susno with the Alchemist. I don't think Alchemists are going to be that good because we got so many bans in the exotics, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean they
the
can be
heals are
useful
strong,
for
of
sustaining
course.
on the point,
Yeah.
especially if they've got the muskets that they had, throwing bombs and things down. But they don't really have any range heroes, did they, for the attackers? So that's not gonna. I don't think gonna have the best usage. But again, if they can throw the smoke in when the enemy's charging in, if they got that heal there for that first push, that could help them to win the first fight.
For sure. And especially if the Apes, for example, get the supply point in the back, and then that's at least one way to still keep healing. But again, not that much poke, so you need to heal during the fight, and that's just really hard. And then you may actually want that other, like Fort Watcher, right, or Camel, or Shieldman, or Cav, or whatever.
Yeah, for me, it just feels like EG is just very. They're very slow. They're very just like you saw at the start. Those Cocos didn't get to that fight until the fight was already over. They'd be fighting there for like 2 minutes at that point. You know, just very. It feels very just relaxed and not very controlled.
Alright, so let's focus on Apes right
Very
now
slow
because I like what they're doing. So they're going to the back straight away. Most teams have been going to the front or the side first, but Apes deciding to go for the.
This is good. It's going to depend on what these Cocos can do again, because
exactly.
the one thing the defenders do have the advantage of here is if they put units in spawn, they can't be killed, so they can have unkillable Cocos in there. So they're getting a decent. So I mean, they're just getting baited out of position now. Apes going to try and rotate back to point fast enough to try and get control of the point now. You see EG's massively over rotating here. Like all these heroes still sat in this tunnel, still trying to run to the base when Apes are already rotating back to point. So they could get a decent position here.
Actually, Endgegner only getting the one shield main unit, but let's focus on the fight that's going to go on here. Trap is going to fly in. I think Endgegner quick enough to actually at least get on the point. Lots of shield maidens here.
But they have actually, you still see there's a lot of EG still sat in base. You know, they've still got 4 heroes behind the point. So if Apes can push in hard enough and start wiping this point, they could potentially get control here. EG having Cocos and Longbows up on top, 3 heroes on base point still. They've got a second unit of Longbows coming in. So right now for EG, they have 2 Cocos and 2 Longbows. And jabs, I think so. And 2 sets of jabs. So it's just really weak front line here for EG. It's where the Apes can punish on that. But at the moment, it doesn't look like they are. It looks like EG are holding.
Yeah, they're really pushing back. I mean, Susno and Chimera both with the Zakalian this time really doing work, and 2 units of Longbows. Insane, but yes, they are doing work. So solid defense actually on this fight.
Yeah, really disappointing performance from Apes there. You know, they had a big advantage there. There was about 6 EG not even in the fight because they were rotating range on the wall. They were still in base, and Apes couldn't punish that. Which was surprising considering they have the tier 5 advantage. Maybe if they'd had a Cav coming through at the same time, they could have done something, but they are going to come back with that now. So can they get control of this push now?
Yeah,